What is up, guys? Candace B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new ones. How are you guys doing today? I hope you have had a great week. I am back again with another video here. As you can see, another analysis video. And like I mentioned in my last video, this is my last week of trading for the year. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am taking a little break, I want to do it because I feel like it's going to be good for me, and to each their own. But yeah, so this was my last week of trading. So of course I'm going to still do, my review of the trades I took this past week. I did trade both GJ and EJ this week, and then I'll do a little bit of an analysis as well. But me personally, I will be staying out of the markets just from now until the new year. So I look forward to that break. I look forward just to working on a lot of back end things and just entering this new year with more focus, more determination to succeed, and more discipline. So yeah, it should be good. Now, as a disclaimer, of course, the way I analyze my charts, the way I look at the markets, the way I trade, etc., is just from my point of view, my opinion, the way I want to do things. So I'm just showing you guys an insight of how I go about approaching the market as it stands right now. Like all of you, I am still learning, I'm still getting better, and I feel like that's with every trader, no matter what level you're at, you're always wanting to get better. So take the information with a grain of salt that I discussed today. I'm not giving out signals, I'm just going over what my thought process is in my head. And even me deciding to take a break from trading, that's just my preference, my personal preference. So that being said, let us get into this video. Alrighty, so we are on GBP JPY to start here, and as you can see, I only took one trade this week. So I have my kind of blue vertical line showing when the week started and when the week ended. And yeah, I just simply took one trade. I actually focused more on EJ this week. Why? Not too sure. It just happened that way, to be honest with you. I did take a pretty good trade at the beginning of the week on GBP JPY that I'm pretty proud of. That was on December the 7th, so that would have been the Monday, just pre-London, I guess you can say, midnight on Monday morning. I took a sell, and pretty much I'll show you guys what I was looking for. So this is where we were at the end of last week, and I was just waiting to see if price can break down into this area here, which it did. So price did break down. I waited for the retest, and I simply got in when I saw that retest happening. So exactly how I kind of drew this out, that's what I was waiting for. And in terms of my mindset when I approached this trade, I feel like I was pretty patient waiting for that setup. It came pretty easily, and as you can see, price just plummeted down, and then yeah, that was it. And as you can see, price kind of just pulled back quite a bit from the Monday until, what was that, the Wednesday, before it ended up just pushing all the way down. So I kind of noticed that price, or the markets this week, were kind of a bit difficult in my opinion to trade, and I'll show you guys EJ. I had a lot of break-even type of trades, and I don't know if it was just because, Brexit, there was a lot of stuff going on with Brexit, and it's the end of the year and stuff like that, but I'll admit it was pretty difficult. So, I was trying to be as mentally disciplined as possible and kind of keep my psychology in check, but I'll admit that there were some difficult times that I did kind of face. But yeah, that was my GJ trade, and as you can see, price just plummeted. Going into this week, let me just see. Well, I'll just clear this chart just so I can kind of do a better analysis. So just going to, I feel like I haven't done a top-down analysis in a minute. I'm just going to do, well, I feel like I haven't done it on camera in a minute. Let me just see here. So this is what the December candle is looking like right now. As you can see, we have these top wicks here. So we have November, there was a top wick when price closed. At the end, it did cause a top wick at the end of November. And as you can see, December kind of filled that wick, and then it's been pushing down since then. So that's pretty interesting to see that there are those wicks here. Obviously, the December candle hasn't finished forming for the monthly, so Who knows, price can, push up or it can keep plummeting down. But as far as I see, it's still kind of following kind of a downtrend, but it's not making lower lows right now. So that's something to be aware of. On the weekly, let me just see. So the weekly, more recently, I can kind of draw out that there is this kind of level here that we are at right now, the sort of resistance level where price is tapped, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So last week you can see that price did tap this area and then plummeted right down before closing as essentially an engulfing candlestick, a bearish engulfing candlestick. So that's interesting that it closed with such a strong bearish body. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw further downward movement this coming week, but we'll see. So many different factors that can go into things, especially, it's going to be the third week of December, so who knows. But as far as in terms of price action is concerned, if price is able to stay under this area, I feel like there is a higher chance that, we'll get that bearish action, especially if it starts kind of breaking these areas here. When you look left, especially when price starts kind of breaking these areas where price previously had pushed up from, then, yeah, it's likely. So we'll see. So now on the daily, I'm just kind of going through my top-down analysis pretty quickly. Daily's pretty much confirming what we saw on the weekly, with this being essentially a pretty strong resistance right now. Price closed below this area. If I look left, you can see that price, it closed right at this area here. So for me personally, if I were to trade, I would want to be waiting for a daily candle to close below this this kind of area here, because as you can see, price has rejected it a few times. It's tested it both as support and resistance in the most recent past, but I would be wanting to see price close below this area for it to continue down. If I see a candlestick closing above this area, then there might be a chance that we might be pulling back to this resistance before either breaking it or before pushing down once again. So we will see what happens with that with GJ. Wouldn't be too surprised if there's a lot of spikes and kind of whipsaws and erratic movement coming, just because, again, like I said, December, holidays, still uncertainty with, the US and Brexit and just all these things that it's like, oh my goodness, a lot. There's a lot going on. Not to say that there won't be opportunities, lucrative opportunities. It's just going to be a lot. So as you can see, there's kind of this area here. It looks like price is kind of forming a retest where we saw that downward push and now it's exhausting right here. If we can kind of sustain that level and create a minor resistance here, then this would be, this would make sense, where price is making lower highs, lower lows, and it's just following that momentum. That would be pretty nice to see. That would be a simple setup if we saw kind of this bearish candle form, taking that sell down, stop loss above this area. That would be something that I'd personally be looking for if I were trading. But yeah, so right now GJ actually doesn't look too bad at all in terms of its structure. It's not, I wouldn't say right now to my eyes that it's in range. This was essentially the range, but it looks like price broke out of that range, so now it's kind of below it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And H1 kind of showing the same thing, lower high, lower low momentum. We see that push down, we see exhaustion, push down, exhaustion. So for me to want to take a buy, if I were to be trading, I would be looking for, price to probably close above this area, which is, let me just see how far. Yeah, that's a pretty big kind of push up, but I would want to see price closing more in this area, kind of get back into the range for any desire to push up for me to want to take any buys to essentially this back to this resistance. I wouldn't expect it to break this resistance, but I would want to see price kind of show momentum to the upside, at least to this area here, and then, see what happens from there. But yeah, I feel like for me personally, I see sells being more apparent. I wouldn't personally be wanting to take buys right now just because I don't really see too many opportunities, and you have to, find more confirmations than just what the candlesticks are doing. With that being said, let us go to Euro JPY. So Euro JPY, this is where I took the majority of my trades this week. So in total, I took 8 trades, including GJ. So yeah, these were my EJ trades. So after I took my trade on Monday with GJ, I just changed to EJ. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just decided to trade EJ after that, and once I was trading it, I kind of just continued to trade it. So yeah, so I did take a trade. I guess this would have been the evening of the Monday, but technically it would be considered a new trading day because it was after 5 p.m. So pretty much just to give kind of my thought process mentally, there's this range here, and I saw it after the fact. I saw it kind of midweek, but at the beginning of the week I didn't really notice it because what I thought price was doing was, if we, let me go to the daily actually. So we see this huge, very, very strong resistance area. The fact that price hasn't been able to close above this area for quite a bit of time, if we look left, then, it shows that it's a pretty strong resistance. So when I noticed that price had rejected this area again, I have my vertical line showing the start and end of this past week. I noticed that price tapped it 2 times and it rejected. And I saw that price was still having this bearish momentum and it was breaking this level. So I drew out this level because I saw it as a place where price had reversed before, again, just retesting this resistance. So when I saw that price was under this level, automatically I was looking for sells. I just looked for the break and retest, basically. Oops. I just basically looked for the break and retest, which, I saw price do. I entered a sell, tight stop loss, but my stop loss was hit as price pushed up. So yeah, it is what it is. Price kind of went into this range. Attempted again to take that same trade, pretty much same analysis, tried again. A couple hours later, same thing happened, but this time it was a break even. So yeah, still wasn't too bad, but price was kind of being weird, I would say. Being indecisive. So now at this point, price is in this area, in this range. I did at that point take a buy because at that point what my thought process was that price was just pulling back for a further push up, because I guess when I looked left, when I saw price in this area, I noticed that every single time it pushed down pretty strongly, but in this case it rallied up very strongly and kind of stayed in this area. So I was assuming it was going to do something like this, where it would push and then push, you know what I mean? So that's what I was waiting for. And so when I saw that price started hovering above this kind of minor zone that I drew out, this minor support zone, that's when my bias changed to buy. And so I did take a buy when I saw that bullish pressure, just following the momentum. And I was in a bit of profits. I moved my stop loss to break even as soon as possible, just because mentally I just wanted to secure, to protect my capital. And as you can see, price did reverse and push down. So my stop loss was hit at break even. Again, it was what it was. At that point, I was cool. It wasn't like a big deal. Did I mention what day this was? Yeah, this was Tuesday. So it wasn't too big of a deal. It was Tuesday night. I gave it a bit of time in between the Monday trade and the Tuesday trade, about 24 hours or whatever. I was just kind of like, oh man, another break-even trade. Okay, whatever. So then I kept my same bias as buys. When I saw price pulling down, I thought I can get a better entry. Had my stop loss below the support, and unfortunately it did hit my stop loss as price was not ready to push back up. As you can see, it did end up pushing up later on, but at that point when I took that buy, it hit my my stop loss. My goodness, sorry guys, my mind is like, ugh. This is why I'm happy that I'm taking a break mentally from, trading. Even though I'm still going to be looking at the charts, I'm taking a break from trading. So yeah, I lost 26 pips from that move. It was what it was. This was the next day, so this was the Wednesday. So I had the same bias as the Tuesday night, but this was during New York session, and there was pretty strong pressure, pretty strong momentum, which I noticed on GJ a lot during 10 a.m., 9 a.m., which now EJ I'm seeing that it happens as well, where there is just, whether it's pressure to the upside or the downside, there's still this momentum, and it's like the 9 a.m. candle will show something and then the 10 a.m. will continue that momentum. So that's what happened. And then I saw the price started going back down into this, underneath this support zone. So once I saw that, again, just like the beginning of the week, I saw break, retest, I entered a sell, and then I saw price kind of being weird, not wanting to push further down. So I closed out my trade. I was in a lot more profits than just 2 pips, but once I saw it reversing, I just exited, and it was what it was. That was on what? That was the same day. That would be Wednesday, around London close, that I took that sell. And yeah, and then I took one more trade that evening, which was the Wednesday, technically Thursday, I guess you can say, in terms of market hours. I did still take a sell because pretty much whenever price was under this area, I was taking a sell. Whenever it was above, I was looking for buys. So I just saw that, price was like once again retesting this zone, this support zone as a resistance. So I was assuming that it was going to push down. And since I'm more so of a price action trader, I was looking at that. I was looking at lower highs, lower lows being formed. I was looking at the size of the candlesticks, seeing these huge bearish candles and the strong bullish ones. So I entered a sell and boom, price pushed up. So, it's just a matter of probabilities. I lost 14 pips on that trade. My stop loss, my risk was well managed at the end of the day. And that's all I can kind of be grateful for in terms of my discipline and my psychology was regardless of, my stop loss being hit or being in profits and then losing profits and closing out in small profits. I can only be grateful to myself that I had the discipline just to, keep my stop losses intact and keep them reasonable. So that was that. And then of course we had this bullish pressure. What time was that actually? So yeah, I mentioned that was the Wednesday night. And then after that, there was just one more trade that I took. After this trade, I was just done for. I was exhausted. I was like, I'm good. Let me start my break now. So this was Wednesday night as well, just right before Thursday. It was like 11:59. I remember this trade. Took a buy because, we rallied back up, very strong push up. I believe there was something to do with Brexit. It must have been. And I took a buy and I was in a bit of drawdown. My stop loss was just below here, and I took a buy and I was in good profits, and unfortunately price did pull back, hit my stop loss, and then it plummeted. So I did put my stop loss at break even, of course, again, just with me being disciplined and trying to keep that momentum, especially losing 26 pips. I wasn't too happy with that, but it was what it was. Still 1% of my account. I still wanted to put my stop loss at break even regardless, and even if I put it too early, whatever the case may be, I'd rather my stop loss be hit at break even than, let's say I didn't even have a stop loss here. Look what happened after for the rest of the week. So even though this is beautiful structure, looking at it, lower highs, lower lows, I didn't want to take a buy, get stopped out, then take a sell right away. I kind of wanted to give it time in between, but I decided just to call it a week and say, you know what, let me just start my little quote unquote holiday break early. It was what it was. And then, yeah, so as you can see, price did plummet pretty much after that. Pretty structure, and unfortunate that I missed out on that, but hey, I know that the markets will be here a couple weeks later when I come back, so what's the rush? What's the point? The market isn't going anywhere. So for me, psychologically, I could tell I was getting exhausted and slightly annoyed that I kept getting hit on break even. But like I said, once I kind of stopped and reviewed and, I kind of expressed gratitude for being strict with my stop loss and my stop loss being at break even, I'd rather that than a losing trade. And then it kind of reminded me of the fact that, I manage my risk well, and this is how I personally am okay with things. So, of course, we're all going to have different ways of approaching the markets. I know people will always have opinions, and you might share them in the comment section. Hey, it is what it is. This is a public platform, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and figure out my best approach to the market, and just whatever works with my personality. So as you can see, overall, when we scale out on this H4, we see that price is just consolidating. That's just what it is. So let me clear everything here and just show it, just so it's clear. You can see a clear range, clear consolidation for EJ, and that's pretty much what it did for the whole week. And for anyone who is trading ranges, your goal is to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. For me, I didn't really notice till kind of midweek that we were in a range, and that's when I said, you know what, we're in a range, let me just not trade anymore. And that's kind of why I decided to just not trade for the Thursday in the day or Friday. But yeah, you can see that we were in a range. So right now it's just a matter of waiting, you know, for these next few days. If price is going to sustain this range and push up to break it, we'll see. Or if price finally breaks below and does a proper retest and then pushes down, that'll be interesting to see. I feel like I'm more on the fence when it comes to buys. I don't believe that buys are applicable just yet, but again, we don't know with just everything going on in the news. But I'm just personally going by structure and how, looking left, how price just has not been able to break this area for so long. This is a very strong resistance. So if price is remaining under here, then even if it comes back up, you know, sell. I would personally still be looking to take a sell at the top of here instead. Now that I've kind of reviewed and everything, and I know I tried to take a buy, but at this point, after reviewing and kind of refreshing my eyes, I can see that it would make more sense for sells to happen if it gets to the top here, because I don't know how likely it will be to break. It would take probably quite a big news event to break and start to push above, but we will see what happens, because we still have this huge bullish push, meaning that there was momentum, there was desire to break above this area. It's just, it hasn't been able to do it. And like I've mentioned before, like a lot of traders say, the longer price ranges, the stronger the breakout will be, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. So if price is just preparing itself to push up, then, you know, the fact that it's been ranging for days upon days, you can tell that it's going to be a very strong push to the upside whenever that comes. So we'll see if that happens or if we get that push down. But at this point, it's just a waiting game, you know, right now. Because yeah, this is, you can just see the range. You can just see the range. But that's pretty much all I see for now, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, I'll still be making videos even though I won't be actively trading. So don't worry, guys. I'm not going to just disappear on you. But if I do disappear, don't get mad. I'm just just kidding. But I appreciate you guys always for stopping by and just talking with me and, you know, watching my video, liking my content. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's encouraging. It's encouraging that you guys give such positive feedback. So I just want to keep kind of giving more content that hopefully is helpful. For me, I like to show the not so glamorous side of Forex trading, you know, trading in general, because, you know, you got to be aware of the fact that it's not going to be all glitz and glamour. You know, there's enough people out there selling that type of dream. And I personally, with my personality, the way I am as a person, I can't do all that. I'm not into all that. So I'm just always going to give you guys the straight up what it is. And I'm just using myself as an example of, you know, just the ups and downs that goes into this whole industry and whatnot. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. Y'all know I already appreciate it. And comment down below. Let me know, what trades are you looking for this week? What setups are you looking for? What currencies are you looking for? Commodities, etc. And last but not least, do not forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on this channel and my other channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to my other channel though, because I'm posting a lot more content on there just because it's very like kind of just off the top of my head, free for all. You guys can see kind of more behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that side, for sure, subscribe to my channel, Candace B TV. And yeah, I'm very kind of raw on that channel. You'll see how crazy I look all the time. So definitely subscribe. And like I always say, I wish you guys nothing but success. I wish you luck in your trading. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and just stay in the zone. And I hope you have an amazing day, week, and life. Bye.